Welcome to the Noface Show.
Welcome. This is incredible that we're right here right now because this is no ordinary Noface Show. This is the Noface Show from Cana, Punta Cana. It's incredible that we were able to pull this off. We're going to talk about this trip and everything that we're doing here, but let's first acknowledge that we are in paradise filming this incredible episode with the beach right behind us. We got Noface Academy members here. We got them on the Instagram live as well. And yeah, we got Max Vangeli. How you feeling?
We got some beers also. I'm feeling good. I just want to make sure your signal is good coming through on the recording right there. Okay, good. Because in Ableton, it's a lot fatter than what it is over there. Yeah, it's good to have everybody here. Obviously, we were able to pull it off. It wasn't easy. It wasn't easy. We got a bunch of random Europeans, Americans, Canadians, Russians in one place, in 1 week. And we made it happen, and we're doing our first ever Noface show in paradise. How do you feel about that?
In person. This is incredible because we've had already 4 episodes recorded. We did them live as well, but through Zoom, so we see each other on the screen, and now we can touch each other. So it's incredible. Yeah. So let's just start talking. I'm sure the audience is really interested to know how we pulled this off, and about what we're doing here in Cap Cana. Being one of the only really online music academies, electronic music academies that is able to bring their audience in person. So we're doing something very unique. So just talk to us, how did you even come up with this idea, and what was the first brainstorming that you had when you were trying to pull this off?
Okay, that's actually a great question, because one of the biggest topics of conversation this week has been people hitting me up about the fact that they're sort of in shock that it happened. Like even Dennis, who was initially planning all of this with us, was kind of very in shock that we were able to pull this off, especially during COVID and all of that stuff. So initially, how all ideas come up, how people come up with ideas. They're excited about a concept. They're excited about a location. So the first thing that happened was when I fell in love with Cap Cana, when I saw it for the first time, I was like, holy shit, wouldn't it be awesome to make music here, right? So I moved here myself. I kind of did a self-experiment on myself initially, and I realized how much more pure my music has become, and how amazing it was to simply be surrounded by nature. You know what I mean? I'm a huge nature guy. And then when you have an opportunity to have nature combination with the beach vibes, and also very kind of like, let's be real. I mean, it's pretty upscale, very civilized. We're not moving into a jungle to make the next hit record. We're balancing out a good time with a proper academy. We had good internet here, which is shockingly, it sounds kind of basic stuff to the rest of the world, but these kind of things are very important to pull off an academy. We had fairly good, setup for the studio stuff and what we were able to achieve. And honestly, I think I was probably the only guy that towards the end thought that this was actually going to happen, because dude, there were so many issues with COVID and last minute changes and stuff like that. The fact that we're here is just insane.
Yeah, I mean, I just gonna ask you about that because you, Max, you're a very creative person. All of us here are very creative person, and we are always coming up with ideas on the spot, and so many business ideas. We can even have a conversation on just ideas, right? But turning an idea into reality is the hardest part. So when you decided that okay, I want to make this actually happen, what was that process, and how in terms of technical stuff, making sure that everyone travels around the world to get here. We have people from as far as Israel, basically the other side of the world. How did you prepare it? What was the whole process behind that?
I think honestly, the hardest part is to create a community that believes in some kind of a concept, right? Because the thing is you can, I see a lot of communities or a lot of businesses, for example, they'll release a product or a service or whatnot, and it could be the greatest product or service ever, but people are not really buying into it because nothing, like there needs to be something behind that. So essentially, step number one before even believing in the fact that we can physically pull off an academy like this was trying to get the community together for all of you guys to be like, yo, this is a dope concept. Like, I'd like to be part of this concept. That's the hard part, you know? So we kind of built that. The academy, this whole thing was being built over the last couple of years internally already. So then it's like, okay, well, let's see what we can do. Can we pull it off, you know? And we started kind of putting out information out there to see if we can make this happen. And when I realized that our academy, our community, forget about the academy, our community was strong enough to believe in flying to some in the middle of nowhere location, hanging out with people that know nothing about one another. Like, for example, with Erica, you mentioned, you know, and everybody else. We got Anthony Pierce from the UK. We got Lawrence also, you know, Kevin, Mauswa, like all of you. You guys are all from like these different locations. So, like, how do you make someone fly out randomly? Like, that's hard. Like, a lot of people don't realize that's very difficult. And to do that, you have to build a community. And if you don't have that community, people are simply not going to believe in it and not come out. So that was step number one, essentially. Yeah.
And that's really great because, you know, Noface has a community where people actually believe in it and are able to like literally put all their you know, future and all their power to make things happen, right? And that's something that even with a startup or a company that you begin, if you have a team that truly believes in it and is able to pull something like this off, that's how you know you're going to succeed, right? Because regardless of what happens in the future, if the community always believes in it, so that's something that I think everyone in this academy and everyone in the Noface team really appreciates about Noface, that vision and that we have for the future, but also such a great community that we had. But that's all. You brought up a really good point because so essentially you were picking us up in the airport. You had no idea who we all were. We literally had no idea. Some of us how we even looked like. You know, you knew us from photos on social media. Some of us, you know, we hopped on Zoom calls, so we knew each other's voices perfectly. But you know, we didn't know each other on the day-to-day life. So how were you? Like, what was your idea of what was going to happen, and how were you even preparing for all of this?
Well, let's not forget that we have to wear masks also. So it's like you're like, well, is that the guys with Anthony Pierce? It was really funny because remember we were like, is that him? Is that him? Is that him? Is that him? And then all of a sudden, like he comes out, and then just kind of like, what's the expectation? Like, you know what I mean? It's kind of like, it's almost kind of like going on a blind date. You know what I mean? It's like you have no idea what to expect. You're like, holy shit. You can literally like meet a person who is going to either change your life or who could be like the biggest pain in the ass for a full week. You know what I mean? If you think about it, you know, like you don't know, you know what I mean? But that's why I think it's so great with our community is that, and I'm sure a lot of you guys are seeing it now, is that somehow we've filtered out like the nonsense, and everybody who is here, you kind of, if you're like, yo, you're hanging out with the Noface crew, you know you're not going to get any like assholes and things like that, because I feel like the assholes don't belong in our community. Yeah.
And I think that was created by like the good content and the good value and the good and the belief in creating something really great for the world and giving value for the world, because Noface was giving such great value on social media. It only really attracted people who were passionate about you know, their music, passionate about their career. If someone wasn't passionate about their career and they, you know, wanted to just do it for the money or do it for the girls, they wouldn't follow Noface, because that's what Noface wasn't about in like the content or the carousels you guys were posting, right? Same for coming here, right? Like you were probably thinking like, oh God, what if I get one of those D bags, you know? What am I gonna do? But at the same time, if you think about it, one of these people will not have the courage to travel around the world, spend money in a ticket, be in a different country. A lot of us have never come, you know, to Punta Cana, so it'll be really cool just to see what people think about this country, right? But I think that the community shows that, you know, we're able to literally pull anything off. So that was incredible. So, what was your first experiences like picking us up in the airport? You know, first days. What was your first experiences seeing the actual Noface Academy in person? Because that's probably something really new, right?
Yeah, yeah. You know, it was actually kind of really good that you guys came in at different times because it helped everybody slowly sort of like mold into like relationships essentially because like we were all kind of a little worried about like how the personalities are gonna rock, who's gonna be doing what and whatnot, and this and that. So it's kind of perfect how like day one we had a couple of people fly in, then day two a couple more people, and slowly, and then me personally, even though I'm sure as nervous as all of you guys meeting everybody, like totally, like I'd be lying through my teeth if I was like, oh yeah, this is gonna be easy. Like I was like, holy shit. I was very scared. Like I felt like going like day one high school. You know what I mean? It's like, oh my god, like how are these people gonna be? What are gonna think of one another? What are gonna think of my personality and whatnot? So, and I think because of the fact that all of you guys were sort of also, like that, it makes all of us human and makes it that much more amazing to see how it is now. Like now you see everybody's like vibing, like everybody knows each other. Like I don't think there's one like bad lemon out of our whole experience so far. Everybody found common ground and found relationships, which I find amazing, I think that's way beyond music, honestly. Like when you can make those relationships and create that kind of a vibe.
That is essentially the ultimate goal, right? You want to teach music and elevate the next generation of electronic music artists. But if you can also create a space and a place where people can have fun and enjoy 1 week while making new friends in paradise, that's the incredible ultimate goal. So the first days, or now we're like almost at the end of the first week. Was this what you expected, or not?
I'm gonna tell you, it's definitely much more than what I expected, for one simple reason, because I really thought that what I realized is that when you click with individuals and you have really good vibes, you need much less preparation. What I noticed, you know what I mean? So when you have like a really great, like a lot of times, like let's say for example, uh, maybe this is a bad example, but like for example, you'll come to a club and you're a DJ, right? Then you show up and you're like, okay, well, I was hoping it'd be sold out. I was hoping the sound would be a little bit better. And then you start playing, and the fans are just like those 60% that are there. They're just incredible, right? Versus like sometimes you show up and it's sold out. You got nice equipment, nice everything, and something the vibe ain't there. You know what I mean? So what do you prefer? I'd rather have a shitty sound system with incredible people, you know, vibing with me, and I feel like that's what this was. Like, was it 100% a slam dunk in terms of like what we expected? No, because we had COVID cancellations, we had a lot of different things that happened. We were expecting, like to do certain things that we weren't able to do. But at the same time, what I was talking to like a couple of the students individually, they were saying among one another that they're like, because of that, it's never going to be the special anymore. Like the way it is now, where it's a small, intimate group, like you're never going to get that anymore because it's just going to get so big. You know what I mean? It's going to get bigger and bigger. So sometimes that's what makes certain things special. So to answer your question, I didn't know what to expect. Again, how can you expect something when even the people that work for No Face have never met even before? It's crazy. Like random people from around the world, like about to say hi to one another. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, incredible. And I think that everyone that is in like this group should be really happy that we were able to be the first people that made it, the first group that made it to Cap Cana. And now in the show we're going to be talking a lot about the future plans of this retreats and summer camps. And I think we're always going to be super proud in a few years or months when we see more of these events happening and more people coming. We're going to be the OG. We're going to be the originals that came on the first time and during COVID. And we've been through some obstacles, but we're always able to fix them together. And I mean, we can all call each other like new friends around the world. So also like I think that's also one of the better things about this trip, that we were all able to meet new people and form new relationships with the music. Because talking to some other guys as well, a lot of people live, in their hometowns where not a lot of people make music, and it's hard to find a group of friends who you share that passion with, especially with something that, even though there's a lot of producers around the world, it's not easy to find them, sometimes. So gathering a group of people, guys and girls that are passionate about the same thing and just get to enjoy the time with each other, I mean, that's just like heavenly. So that's incredible.
We get to have band camp again, you know what I mean, like summer camp or whatever, you know what I'm like you you get to a certain age, especially after college and whatnot, those things are not possible. But the thing is, like, we literally created a summer camp where, just like the concept is like you meet all these random ass people from around the world, and they just happen to be like but the thing is, like, we have a community, so people have a clear understanding of relationships and each other's personalities. So I feel like we get to filter out kind of like the bad vibes. That's why I'm like, one of the things that I'm really happy about is that, like, there's no bad vibes in Noface. Like, people that if you're like an asshole and you want to come, you wouldn't even like sign up because you're gonna have a bad time. That's what I love about that.
Yeah. So now, talking more to the people that are unfortunately weren't able to be there. Some people didn't want to come, but most people wanted to come but couldn't, right? So for those the ones that are looking maybe to join in the future, let's talk a little bit of what we actually did in those sessions, what some of the students actually learned. We were able to do a lot of studio sessions, production sessions, mixing sessions. We were able to even play some gigs around beach clubs around the area. Let's just talk a little bit of the things that this Summer Academy members were able to do.
Yeah, so like what we mentioned, a couple of things, obviously got derailed, especially with COVID and events, and we're just kind of fortunate that we are in a gated community here, so we're kind of able to do whatever we want to do, essentially, a little bit openly here. But a lot of countries are on full lockdown still. Countries like Australia weren't even able to, travel. We have a couple of guys from the UK. Anthony Pierce had like a disastrous, time, making sure that he came, and the things he had to do financially and rerouting flights and all of that stuff was very, very difficult. It was a lot of work, and that's why things fell apart for certain regions and whatnot. But going back to the fact that it felt very kind of special because of the fact that it was much smaller, I think we got to learn a lot from what we can implement next year and how we can organize things, and what we could do. Because like my mind is racing already as far as what we can do in future events. Like, for example, boat parties, or for example doing like, I have another idea that we're gonna do. We're gonna do like, imagine we rent a like a bus, and we have like a 3-hour or 4-hour DJ setup in the back, and we do like a DJ party set as we are traveling to like some insanely secluded tropical location, where once we get there, we do like a songwriting session in the jungle and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And just like share our experiences and everything and all of that stuff. And then at the same time, like, for example, just kind of also understanding what everybody, it was very important for me to understand on this trip what everybody wants, in terms what their expectations are, and what sort of things that they appreciated learning from our sessions and stuff. Like, it seems like I was like, okay, well, what are we going to be talking about? Then when we really dove into like mixing and mastering, I noticed like most of the kids here are like, oh, can we talk more? Like, we need to know more about mixing and mastering. And we spent a lot talking about mixing and mastering. And that was something important for me to understand, because I didn't know how much of a time did we want to, dedicate to that. And now I know that it kind of makes sense, because if we're making electronic music, a lot of you guys really, it's really important for you guys to know the real secrets of how to make your music sound really great. And hopefully I was able to open up your eyes, like I gave you guys some industry shit that, like, a lot of you guys are going to leave with some special sauce. And that was really important for me to understand. So feeding off of what I learned, just kind of observations and whatnot, and seeing what people love and whatnot. And one thing that I definitely love, I mean, the party mode here is ridiculous. Like, everybody wants to have a good time, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we've also been able to manage both having a fun time in have a vacation together, as well as having it be like a summer academy. So like we never got to a point where we were either partying too much, or we never got to a point where we were like, feeling like we were back in school and like, strict hours and stuff. So also maybe a smaller group helped with that, but we were able to manage that very well. And in those sessions, we learned, as you said, really interesting stuff. My favorite thing was the challenge that we did yesterday that you posted on Instagram, where we had 2 hours. We were given a random genre to produce. Some guys that like usually produce like deep house, tech house, were given like trap and dubstep, something straight up out of your comfort zone. And we're given 2 hours to produce it, and I really can't wait to see what people did. That was a fun challenge.
I think either later today or tomorrow we're going to showcase that. And again, it's creating cool little, scenarios for you guys, for unexpected scenarios, because it's not like when you guys are sitting in your home studios, you guys are like creating scenarios for yourself where it's like, okay, let me give myself 2 hours to do X, Y, and Z. But when you collectively do that, you kind of put people on the spot, and I think that creates a learning curve. Honestly, it's kind of like is there pressure? Yes, of course there's pressure, but sometimes you need to have a little kick in the ass. When you're in the music industry, like what I was telling you guys, that like if a famous musician or a producer is in town for a couple of hours and he calls you and says, yo, you want to hop in? Like, you want to be prepared as a musician and not just always hope that, like, oh, my USB is going to have these, like, smash ideas. There's always a high chance that they're going to listen and be like, nah, let's try something from scratch. And a lot of musicians, they freak out. Like, as soon as they hear the word from scratch, they freak out. Because like you get so exposed, it's ridiculous as a musician, because you're like, oh my god, am I good enough, not good enough? You need to learn how to produce on the fly. If you want to be great, you got to be able to produce on the fly. You don't have to finish the whole track, but be able to do things. Like if you're in the studio, let's say, how many stories I've heard where like at that particular moment, like this particular famous producer showed up, or like, Dr. Dre or something was that at the particular moment. And if you have the confidence to be like, yo, guys, let me show you something, and a lot of people don't, then like you might stand out. And that's what the most important thing is. That's why I think it was one of the most important challenges during this whole session, you know what I mean, that we had.
Yeah, for sure. Also, it was really cool that we were able to pull off some gigs. So we got to like showcase our academy members, not only by playing at like beach clubs here, but also posting everywhere about it, tagging them. Noface Team did a really good job at like giving clout to the members. And also we're going to be doing that. We're going to be interviewing the academy members in the show in a few minutes. So we're also really excited about that. But now that we talked about like the experience, I want to talk about like the future. Like what the like this was like a huge impact, like a huge slam dunk in the Noface history. You know, it's like we before and after, right? Before Noface before the Summer Academy and Noface after the Summer Academy. So what's the future like? Are we gonna have more of these? Are we gonna do them around the world? Like what's your vision?
So Dennis called me like yesterday as soon as I posted the challenge, and he's like, "Yo, bro, I have an idea." So what he was telling me, he's like, what we could do is we can have like the general, Summer Academy 2021 as like this home base thing here, but at the same time taking advantage of like ADE or Ultra or Ibiza, and whoever can make out to like the smaller versions of them in those particular sectors, where we same concept. We rent out a villa, and let's say 5-10 people can make it and be there. We can really take this internationally, but kind of make this as like the like the big one, the home base kind of a scenario. So because a lot of people are asking about this thing now, like people are so like intrigued about where this is going to go, because we truly had an incredible time, you know what I mean? Dude, people are going to be leaving this and like, come on, let's be real. This was probably some of the best time for some of these kids maybe ever, you know what I mean? Like for me, this was like one of the best experiences in a very long time, especially with COVID and all whatnot. So I feel like it's almost like our mission to make sure that we make something insane out of this. Like this has to become insane because the concept is incredible. You know what I mean? Yeah. What do you feel about it? You keep asking me all the questions. I want to know what you think now.
I always try to tell you, for me, my opinion, like, I was one of the people that also came from Spain. And, in the beginning, for example, I was like, are they even going to come pick me up in the airport? Like, I got no car. I don't have any data, any signal. Like, what's going to happen? So it was a lot of, like, question marks. My mom was like, Mark, be safe, like, where are you going? And, talking to some other members, their parents are like, also like, are you sure about this? These Noface people? But in the end, like, it was more than I could have ever expected. And I'm super happy that, some of us still have like a whole another week. And like in the house, when we were like in those moments of chilling in between all the craziness, we realized that like, it's literally a moment that we're going to cherish for a long time. So, like, let's try and be conscious of every single second of it to, like, make the most out of it, because all these moments, they go by so fast. And then you're back home, like, Monday morning, waking up, and you're like, damn it, I wish I was there, So try and make the most out of it. Yeah, it was incredible. Let's move on now. As part of the Noface Show, we always like to listen to demos, and now that we have Noface Academy members here, we got their demos here as well. So let's do the traditional section and let's listen to some music. And after that, we're gonna have something very exciting, because Max may be saying what he thinks, but it'd be really cool to know what each member actually thinks. So we're gonna do some quick interviews with the actual members. We're going to put them in the spot in your sit and ask them some questions. So let's do it. First demo is Anthony Pierce. So he sent in a demo. It's been really cool to actually know these kind of guys. Now I know what kind of music he makes, what his goals are. Really cool guy from the UK with some major tech house vibes. So yeah, he will. So this song is called Call of the Wild. Let's play it. you think?
I love, Anthony, we've been listening to a lot of his music and stuff. I like his sound selection. Like, he makes stuff that stand out because, he's from the UK. I notice, like, majority of, like, the people from the UK, they really kind of get specific with their sound selection, and they tend to sound a lot different from, like, if you go for, like, the typical, I mean, I don't know, EDM pop kind of like a feel with it and stuff like that. So that's the first thing that I noticed, like the sample, boop boo, whatever. Like, that's already getting my brain like listening. So wherever that demo finally goes, like, I'm intrigued to hear where it's going because like the sound selection is really unique. You know what I mean?
Yeah, very much. Okay.
Yeah, by the way, oh yeah, and we're not gonna be able to obviously get into like some heavy duty production what's it called, advice on some of these records, simply because we have a couple, our setup, we're not we don't have the function one system over here, of course.
Awesome, yeah. So yeah, just kind of feel the vibe and also showcase the music of the members. I personally love Anthony's music. He has a lot of demos, so I think we're gonna see him in No Face, hopefully. And next demo is by DJ Dobro. His name is Lawrence. He's definitely a character. I loved meeting him, so I can't wait to interview the man. So yeah, let's listen to his demo. Wow. The speaker can't handle it.
It's too much power. So I don't know if you paid attention to the bass line, but I tend to really love these kind of records, piano house with really solid bass grooves and stuff like that. It's difficult to get the bass sounding good on these kind of records because they normally are the driving force behind these kind of records. So I know this is like super rough, of course, but I really like what he did with the bass and the like the tone of the bass more specifically. And then obviously, that you need to develop the arrangements and whatnot. But we all know Lawrence. We want Lawrence to be a god of house over here. For those of you guys that will get to see some footage or have been seeing footage, one of the coolest guys I've met in a long time. So it's good to have him here.
Yeah, you know what I noticed as well? I noticed that a lot of these demos have deep house and tropical house vibes. You know what I mean? I was gonna say maybe they're being influenced by the incredible vibes. So if you want to make deep house, come to Punta Cana with Noface and make the most out of it. Next demo, Erica Kryle and Lion Gold. Let's do it.
I think she played it at the beach party. It's sick. Erica's got the vibes, dude. Yeah, this is fire. Like, this is fire. Erica is a champ. I like what I was telling her always. Like, it has like these like, we don't want to say certain, cultural anything as far as like. No, but Erica's got a sound. That's what I love about like Erica's music, and like, and it reminds me so much of like some of the stuff that Prida has been doing, Eric Pritz, for many years, and this and the sound selection is really great, especially for. I believe Erica will confirm during the interview, but I believe she played that record during the beach party. Maybe I'm wrong, but I really love that one. I don't know where it's going, but and then that snare is just too savage. Like when that snare comes in, like that's what a lot of a lot of producers don't realize. Like you can have a percussive instrument become almost like an instrument of a song, a percussive hit or whatever. Like what a massive if that snare was another sample that sounded like maybe different, it would be like, oh, take it out. But now it became like part of the song, you know what I mean? And then the vocals, snippets, whatever, they're kind of following the arpeggiated. I think it's like, I believe it's called like a Dorian scale. You know what I mean? And it sounds really great. I love that one.
You know, I love that demo too. Let's move on. SY Don't Understand.
SY bringing in the heat.
Come on.
Our speakers are not going to be able to handle this.
I'm a big boss and you a tiny man. You ain't got no plan. You ain't got no plan. Now get it, man, ahead. Now get it, man, ahead. See, I got a plan. I think you understand. I think you understand. It's about $1,000,000. I tell you, you call a friend. I tell you to call a friend. Now where is your plan? Now where is your plan? I don't understand. Don't understand.
I like that breakbeat. Here we go. Savage. Yeah, and I think SY, like one of the things that he mentioned is that he wants to get some of his records on Stamped, Martin Garrix's label, and I think the sound is definitely there. You know what I mean? Like the proper party music with good sound design, essentially, with like catchy hooks is what you need for those kind of records. And I mean, I'd bang this one any day, at a festival, 100%,
Yeah. Okay, we got one last demo, and it's good because the guy is right in front of us, Green LA, losing time.
Yeah, this reminds me of like some of like Artie's music, like some of my favorite ones that he used to do for like Anjuna beats, you know. And it's got like that progressive vibe with like a big vocal hook and like just the feels, you know what I mean? It's like when it comes out, it's just like, you know, I'm a huge, obviously, fan of progressive house, and I would definitely love to hear this one. I think this one could be sick, you know, when it's finished. I'd love to hear it because Sunset, you know, you drop that shit, people are emotional and stuff like that. It's all about those vibes, essentially.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. I think we were lucky maybe this show, but everyone's demo was fire today, you know? Like, it's really cool to see. Except every little egocentric, no? If the host sends his demo. But it's time maybe to move on. Max, we loved having you. But let's start having some Academy members. Let's ask them some questions. So this part essentially is more of like a testimonial. We want to know what the Academy members like feeling was in this trip, because you know Max can say whatever he wants, but in the end it's up to us to see how we felt, right? So let's just ask you some questions and just let us know what you think. It's like in first, you know, was it the first time you were in this country? Like, how do you feel about this country?
I was expecting to have fun. I achieved it. This vacation, like this trip, was one of the most rational, irrational decisions because, like, it's a little like weird, you know, going from all over the world to the people that I've never met, but like because we all knew each other also before, it felt different. Felt like already like, okay, I'd never seen them in real life, but what? And like regarding the expectations, yeah, we're just expecting to meet you all, have fun, learn about the music, and I think it's a great success.
I've never been out of my country, so it's like my first time actually leaving it, essentially.
Yeah, I mean, and how did you feel? Like, what's your vibe? Like, what was the vibe you were expecting, or how did you feel in the country? Essentially, just the country.
I mean, we're technically in the nicest area possible, so I mean, yes, it's gonna be amazing. But overall, it's like really beautiful. I mean, it's amazing. I wish we had more sun though, cause like it would brighten up the place a little bit. But you know, overall, it's really cool.
Very beautiful country. Actually, it's a great place to live at. It might be one day I'll be happy enough like to move here. It'll be like such a great idea. Like, and also like since you know Max is here, it will make it even much more better.
Yeah, so funny story actually. So a lot of people don't know this about me, but I actually used to live in Puerto Rico for 2 years, and over there I did my first 2 years of business school over there and all that. And while I was over there, you know, I really experienced the Caribbean on a whole new level, and I met a lot of people from different countries and whatnot. And I met a lot of people that were actually from here in the Dominican Republic, but my friends would always tell me, they're like, yo, bro, like you have to go to the DR. They would speak the highest of the Dominican Republic. And then next thing you know, I'm here with the label, you know what I mean? And I'm loving every moment of it. My friends were all right when they said, you know, Dominican Republic is absolutely amazing. And yeah, bro, that's all I could really say, you know?
So absolutely beautiful. Obviously, the scenes, the white sand, the sky, beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, I'm absolutely in love with it. I think I'm from Ireland, you know, and the people here remind me so much of back home. They're so friendly, but you got better weather, so I'll give you that. So no, it's been amazing. The food, the weather, and again, just how friendly everyone is. So I can't speak highly enough about Dominican Republic.
The country is amazing. I have not been here before. It's, yeah, amazing.
Country is absolutely beautiful, stunning. I knew right when we landed here, I knew I was going to be hooked in the Dominican Republic. I've been to Punta Cana a couple times, but Cap Cana is very special. Just the energy, everybody, you know, everyone's so welcoming, and I absolutely love it.
What was your expectation coming here versus what actually like happened, the reality of it?
Honestly, it was just, you know, I knew everyone had one common goal, you know, being for music, learning more business of the aspect of, you know, how we kind of operate and what Noface does. And I think as we're working and going along and just, you know, enjoying ourselves, it's kind of mind-blowing because, you know, we're all here together. We come from, you know, all different countries all over the world, and we're here for kind of, that mission.
So it's been quite a tedious journey to get here. Actually, the day before I actually arrived, I kind of didn't think I was going to get here. It's been like a bit of a logistical nightmare, to be honest, but I made it.
You made it.
Yeah, I made it, so here we are.
Yeah. So again, I've had tons of calls and like Zoom meetings and stuff like that with people here, but I had not actually met anyone. None of us had met each other, so I didn't really know what to expect really. But I showed up with a open mind, and it's been awesome.
So coming in, I knew, we were gonna focus on our music, getting ready to play some shows and all of that, and basically everything that I expected pretty much has been fulfilled, and even more, and even beyond that.
I would say better than expected, if I'm honest. I mean, I was expecting more to sit in the classroom and boom, 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 we're going through stuff and it's a bit dry. But actually what I found, it's really immersing into the culture. And that's what I really love about being part of EDM and dance music culture, is you get to immerse into it when you meet face to face. I think as great as everything is remotely, I think being here has really kind of made it so special, if I'm honest. So.
I actually had no expectations. I was just like so excited to come here to meet all the people I've been talking to like through WhatsApp. It's just like the atmosphere here is just like when everyone is on the same page, on the same level, like we all have like on the same wave. You know what I mean? It's just like so excited to be surrounded by the people who are actually like doing the same thing and they actually believing in you. And also like having like such a great boss as a Max, because he's like huge guy in the music industry, and like actually we do learn a lot from him. And like I personally do appreciate this trip, and like I'm just so thankful to be here.
I love it. I mean, I was I think one of the first one who signed up for this trip, and like a year ago, and I was thinking finally I'll have a vacation in 1 year, because I was not even hoping to get out of my country and like go traveling, because it's like really complicated now. And I love it. I've never been to Caribbean. I've never been to South and Central America in general, so it's a nice experience. I'm really happy also like having a great crew with me, because it's one of probably the most important thing, I would say, because no matter where you go, it matters who you're with.
Everything that happened, I think, was better than my expectations, because it was like not only like a production, but it was like more of a mental thing. It was like you are a musician, and not only do you have to be in a creative space with like creative people, because in Chicago, like I'm the only one who does this, so it's like I can't be surrounded by you guys. I wish I could, but this really like it changed almost my life a little bit. So like yeah.
Yeah, I mean, definitely everyone agrees, so that's really successful. But if everyone agrees that everyone had fun, that means it's definitely true. So, last question. What was overall your experience, but also would you travel to other events for this, like this? Would you recommend anyone didn't come to definitely join? And yeah, would you travel the world with Noface?
Of course. I think we can really bring this to, not only here, but to international, bigger hotspots, Ibiza, London, we could go New York. And, we have Academy members, 250 of them, that are, now that they see this is flourishing and coming to life, that it'll be, I recommend anyone who has, the goal and that mindset to be here.
Yes, personally, yep, for sure. I think it was a great opportunity to learn from some of the best people in the music industry. So I would say anybody who's thinking about it, try it out.
Everyone should come. I mean, honestly, this would be ideal. In a year's time, we got 50, 100 people here. That would be amazing.
Of course, I would definitely recommend, because it's just like the energy, the memories we're having here is just like insane. And also like the family, we actually build like some kind of family here. Yeah. So I'm just so excited to see people I've met before, and it's just insane.
I would definitely recommend coming here. Regarding the future events for myself, I would prefer staying in Europe because the trip was really hard. But, we shall see. You never know. Like, it's going to be in 1 year from now. I don't know where I'm gonna be in 1 year from now. I don't know where Noface. I hope like me and Noface will be like if we're here now, like we both will be there. So we'll see. I don't know.
For your first question, I would go anywhere. I'm not even kidding. I would go anywhere to see this guy, and then everyone else. And then yeah, if you're actually serious about taking your music to the next level, like, don't waste your time. Like, join Noface, dude. It's like what, $15 a month? It's worth it.
Well, as a team member and as part of the administration, most definitely, most definitely. And you know, I don't think this is going to be something that stops anytime soon. We're just going to keep growing, getting better, you know, bringing more people. And I highly recommend anyone who's really serious about their careers to come out, because the knowledge that we've been getting is unbelievable. And you know, especially a guy like Max Vangeli, who I've always looked up to as a kid. I started DJing when I was 14, and a lot of the parties that I would play for my friends at school, I was always playing his music. You know, so for me, it's absolutely insane the fact that, you know, I used to play his music and today I get to work side by side with him. You know what I mean? And for me, you know, this is huge, you know, and I'm absolutely loving it. You know, Max is an excellent guy. You know, the whole team is absolutely amazing, and I wouldn't want to be a part of any other company.
100%. I've been like wanting to come out it's been arranged for like over a year. Obviously, everybody who I've met here, we've kind of met online, but we've never actually met each other physically. So this is the first time, and yeah, man, it's good. I'm happy.
Awesome. So yeah, it was incredible. I had to repeat the same question 1,000 times, but that'll be fixed in post. So no worries. We got an awesome crew giving us some incredible lighting in the night. You know, incredible camera work. We got 1, 2, 3, so many cameras around here. So we got an awesome setup. It's definitely an upgrade from the Zoom. You know, everyone's webcam and things, online problems and things. It was for me a pleasure to record the show in person. It felt like a legit show and a legit podcast, and I think we all killed it as a team. And so yeah, here ends the Noface Show, a special edition in Punta Cana. Okay, great.
Thanks for listening to the Noface Show.